Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Gaming, and today we're going to be doing a Twisting Corridors Layer 8 sort of live run, because I kind of wanted to do these Twisting Corridors. Oh, that's not Twisting Corridors, what am I doing? Yeah, I wanted to do Twisting Corridors guides on pretty much every single DPS class and spec. Yeah, this is it. So we're just going to do a bit of a live run, tell you what kind of powers you should get, what powers I am selecting and why, sort of thing, and then just facing difficult choices of powers and just trying to determine which ones you should take in order to complete the run. So we just got, okay, yeah, we'll go with this one. So Twisting Corridors Layer 8 is actually pretty difficult. On a warrior it's most easiest in my opinion. Yes, druids can just obliterate the Rift Guardians and elites, but boomies have a bit more of trouble during all the trash, because one silly death could set you back real bad. I've learned that the hard way while trying to do this. So I'm doing it on my warrior. I've got all of the Torghast upgrades apart from the very last one where you need appreciated with Vanari. But when I completed it, where is it? Special features, Torghast. Here, when I completed it on that date, I didn't have most of the later upgrades. But I still found it pretty easy, and that was before they nerfed most of the big warrior powers as well. So like the Voracious Cutting Blade, Smoldering Inertia, yeah, powers like those, that made this run just obscenely easy for warriors. We get power here, and yeah, this is all before all the new powers have come in, so let's go, we'll go this way. I'm just sort of on the fly, don't really know. Oh, we'll get into our first rare. Now, ideally with Twisting Corridors, you kind of want to have the perfect start you can. So, ideally you want to go with, because you can keep re-rolling the floors until you get it's capped, obviously. So you'd ideally want to get Fracture Chambers first, because that's just such an easy floor, or ideally Scolasaurs, because the torments that they give is just a mob that occasionally spawns, which is just pretty easy to deal with, compared to, say, the Soul Forges one, where it just constantly does damage to you, even out of combat. So you can't really stop, you can't really AFK during the run, which is pretty annoying. So things to take into consideration about the Twisting Corridors. So as I said before, you can re-roll the run, and the powers and the floors will be different, unlike the normal wings, where if you wanted to re-roll on your Mortugar or Scolasaurs, which is of this week recording this video, you can't re-roll it for different powers. It's always going to be the same power for the layer. But for Twisting Corridors, it is the same. It is different. Sorry, it is different for each separate run, which I think is good. This is a big pack. So yeah, I think Arms Warriors is really easy just because of the powers. They're just way more helpful to you than they would be if you were Fury. But that's personal decision. I muchly prefer Arms. This is the gear I'm running. Obviously, I think I was sub 200 eye level when I got my Layer 8 done. Oh, actually, this is pretty bad. So yeah, I'm using the Signet and Tournament Kings. Before I would use... what was it? Actually, before I would use the gloves. The gloves from... okay, that was not ideal. The gloves from Theodore Payne. But they're not gloves, the power from Theodore Payne. It just does more mortal strikes when you Bladestorm or Ravager. Okay, we are pretty much at the first Rift Guardian. Now, another tip I could say is you really want to kill everything because getting Phantasma early on is actually really important, because as you move through the broker levels, each broker is going to sell you less stuff. Oh, yeah, we'll talk about that. I'll come back to that in a second. But yeah, if you can get things like Abundance of Phantasma, or if you can re-roll to a floor which has the, I think it's the Animatable Stygia or something, as the Stygia glob elemental thingy that drops a power which increases your Phantasma earned by 100% but decreases your damage done by 10%. Now that is actually a really good power, and if you can get it on the first floor, that'll really set you up for the first half of the run, because the first half of the run you'll actually get to buy some pretty decent things, I will say. And another thing is just clicking on all of the souls, because all of their stacks, all of their damage increases via your main stats will also add up as well when you're trying to kill the last boss and complete the run. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, here's another tip. So if you have a legendary on that is a legendary or a power that you can get inside Torghast, like the Signal Tormented Kings, it is good to have another legendary that is not. So that's why I have this one, because this is not a power that you can get in Torghast, whereas the Signal Tormented Kings is. So when I get to the next broker, I'm going to take that off and then put this on, just to not wasting power. Yeah, so you really want to know what sort of powers you want to be getting as well. So for Arms Warrior, we're looking for Smoldering Inertia, so charging or heroic leaping increases the damage done by 100% for 6 seconds. It was 200% for 4 seconds, however they nerfed it. Not surprised why, because it was super powerful. We're looking for this power here, which we had on our first power. Condensed damage is increased by 50%, and after 30 uses of it, you can use it at whatever health level you want. So that is going to synergize really well with another power, which makes it so our Condemn knocks down the target for 0.5 seconds. And because we're arms, we can spam Condemn unlike Fury, so which is able to lock down the mob, mainly the boss, without him ever damaging us as well. Because of another power, which increases the duration of Die by the Sword or Enraged Regeneration for Fury by 20% for each soul remnant you have. So at some point you can get up to a permanent Die by the Sword, which just makes you immune to melee attacks. That's crazy. And that's how I got it. I got enough for a permanent Die by the Sword. Smoldering. Oh, actually no, I didn't get Smoldering Inertia to kill. Yeah, I got Voracious Cutting Blade. 4 stacks of the Condemn damage increase, as well as some other ones like Rage Generation and just other damage increase and stuff like that. And when you shout, you increase the damage targets take by 30% per stack that you have of the power, so that really adds up as well. It's not really needed, you can do it without it, but it just helps speeds the run up. Oh, this is good. And as this is a layer A, I do need to concentrate a little bit. So I'm just going to cut out all the boring bits and to show you all the really important stuff that's going on, like important power choices. Just put that. Okay, so not good. We need to get some victory rush points there. Stun the Goliath. Yeah. And normally I would skip these sort of chests, mainly the ones that have the color coding on them, but I would not, since you really want to maximize your run as much as possible. So, oh, forgot it there. And oh, actually, this is a very important power because this just helps us get lots of Phantasma for the broker, so you can just buy everything. Because the more you can buy, the more it helps you, and the more it sets you up for the first half of the run, so you can make sure that you're gonna beat the layer on the second half of the run, where you get to the boss. My boss was the Decay Speaker in Cold Art Stitcher, and it had about 14 million health, so it took me a while. Oh, here's the power there. We are taking that because we can just get another one of those, one of these powers here. So we're just going to continue on and just see what happens. Okay, I just want to show you a bit of how this power works here. So I'm gonna go in, get wreck, knock down, knock down, knock down, down. It's really good, combined with Pyramidai Bow Sword. Now this will work a little bit better with 100% Rage Generation with the powers. Oh, actually that's really good. Yeah, okay. And just probably the shouts increases damage taken powers. But well, we'll get there. We'll just go ahead and get to the first broker. Okay, so we have just reached the broker. The first thing you do want to obviously get is the anima cells, because they're just free anima powers pretty much. And then just see what you have, because you can actually just take your time and figure out what would actually be best for you. For me, I would much prefer, actually no, we'll what we'll do is we'll pop all the powers first, then we'll choose from the broker, because we could have the powers that we want here without actually buying them from the broker. So it's just being a bit more efficient with your choices. So it wasn't very good powers there. So we'll take this one. And you can see which boss will be available at floors 6, 12, and 18. So this is Dark Ascended Chorus. Dark Ascended Chorus. So she's not too bad. Actually, there aren't any mini dangerous bosses. If we have a look, Capital Torcus. Watcher of Death is probably one of the worst ones you could get. That's a mortal guy, I think. One of the more water souls. Writhing Soulmates can be a little bit difficult. He can come from Fracture Chambers, I mean. And where's the other one? There's a massive ghoul that is actually really difficult. I can't remember his name. I think it might be Corsairus the Fallen. He is also in the Fracture Chambers. And yeah, so if you come across any of those bosses, and Patrician Cromwell as well. Oh yeah. Patrician Cromwell is in the upper breaches. So yeah, if you get any of those bosses and you can't defeat it, you might just want to restart, because you won't want to beat your head against that and then just lose the run because you can't kill the boss, because it's ridiculously hard. Now, if you are trying to get this, I wouldn't be surprised if you had to maybe restart your run because of bad RNG. If that's in terms of you not getting the powers you want, or just getting loads of shitty powers really quickly. Or just really bad luck with floors. So if you get soul forges or upper reaches 3 times, that is really not ideal. So yeah, expect that to happen. At least on all of your other layers as well. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are pretty easy. 6, 7, 8 are obviously a bit more harder. Surprisingly, layer 7 actually gave me way more trouble than layer 8. I had to try layer 7 about 5 times on my own before I had to go into a group and get it done. So layers 1 through 6 I did on my Warlock as Destruction. Actually this is a bit of difficult back. Sorry, let me just focus. I'm just going to condemn everything to death. Let's stun the Automaton. until sword, like that. Just condemn. This is just so crazy. Oh, yeah, that's one of the powers I was talking about. But that was actually kind of shitty, because it gave us that power and 10 soul remnants, which contributes to this power. So I have 9, about to be 10 soul remnants, so my double sword will last for 24 seconds, or 22 seconds. And it does help if you have, say, Ignore Pain has a 50% chance to cast Double Sword, because it casts Double Sword for the same duration. It's not just the duration that it started out with, which is 6 seconds? 8 seconds? I don't even know. So getting stuff like that will also help you get permanent Double Sword if you don't have this power here. Okay, so we are reaching a relatively difficult pack. In terms of elites you want to kill first, usually it will be the robot dude, not this robot one, the other big one. The fat one, I suppose. But if it was between these two, it'll be the Monstrous Guardian. Because when he gets to low health, he will do an enrage every time you move, which is obviously not good. It obviously doesn't matter because you can just burst him down, but in a situation where you're say 417, and elites do need to die really quickly, then that would be the one. With other annoying ones like the Lord of Locks, I hate the Lord of Locks, the Royal Advisor if you're in upper reaches, or the Dead Soul Chorus, they will be among the most dangerous elites you can come across. So this is the mob I was talking about, the Grand Automaton. So let's just go. Just gonna try and place it down. The reason this guy is really deadly because his Thundering Stomp, we're not gonna see it, does a lot of damage. So he stomps his feet and does a big AoE around himself. So you just want to outrage it. And as melee, it is pretty hard to get out of and pretty deadly. It can one-shot you. I was watching one-shotting poor Deku like 10 times when we did layer 8. Last night. I was on Boomy, he was on Unholy Decay. But yeah, we are coming up to a chest, one of those color-coded chests, so I'm going to show you the best way to figure out that, because there is actually a trick to it without using the locks that you can buy from Vanari. So let's kill these two guys first. The agents are probably the worst non-elite mob you can get because of their fear. If you can interrupt them, it's fine. But yeah. Alright, so for the color code locks, you want to find the one where it changes only one color. See, I clicked this one and it changed these 3 colors. So we want to find, okay, not that one, change 2 colors. Okay, looks like this one. So the reason why this is important is because when you're trying to unlock all the locks, this is the one you want to unlock last, and this right here on the far left is the chain you want to break last. So we want to find the chains. I don't know if this makes any sense. I don't know if anyone has any trouble unlocking these chests, but I don't know. Hopefully it just helps out. Alright, let's do the boss. Warbreaker, come down, wait for it to die. Get rid of Phantasma. As you can see, my Phantasma's building up because of how much I'm victory rushing. So I've got victory rush takes 5 Phantasma from the target, and I got this power earlier, which allows you to use victory rush once every 20 seconds, which really helps. Just gets you more Phantasma. Again, it's all early on Phantasma, so this is really helping me. So we'll kill that. Oh no, I can still got this one. So we're on floor 5. Alright, so we are at floor 6. As you can see, we've got a lot of Phantasma. So the first thing we're going to do is gonna buy all the anima cells. Gonna use them all. Still a 700 Phantasma. Oh yeah, scrap that one. Yeah. Okay. Now what have we got? We've got another one of these. I'll definitely get one of those ones. And you kind of want to buy as much as you can early on, because as I said before, the brokers on floor say 12, 15, and 18 are going to sell only like 1 power of each quality, so like one common one, one uncommon one, and maybe a rare one as well. Why is my music so? Yeah, there we go. So yeah, and Ravenous Anima Cells is not a bad option as well. But if you really are struggling with some of the trash, then Death Potions might be an option as well. So we're going to get some Death Potions. And yeah, we'll get that one, and I can never do it. Oh, that's alright. Okay, so we're going into our first boss, Dark Ascend Chorus. Doesn't have that much health, even though it is Corner and a Stitcher. I'm going to show you something important in a minute. Let's just condemn this guy to hell. And you really want to use every ability possible in your arsenal, because like the shamans, they have all their totems, so some of those totems might actually be useful because there's some powers regarding totems, so you might want to think about that. Shouting Throw and Challenge Shout is actually really good to use because it counts as a shout, so you can use that to make enemies take more damage. Now, you kind of want to, at this point, have as many epic powers as possible, just to make the selection of those a bit more easier. So, okay, we've got... No. Never mind, just... Yeah. So we've got Smoldering Inertia, so that's pretty big. I usually don't get that lucky. Now, hopefully we don't get Soul Forges. Or Upper Reaches. What have we got? Fracture Chambers. Okay, that's awesome. That's really good. Because if you have to deal with 16% increased damage from everything, from floor 7 and on, then that's really bad. It's just, yeah. The boss on floor 18 will just decimate you. And another weird thing, I think this only applies to warriors, but if you're a spec that has a power where you use an ability, it gives you Phantasma, you really want to try and utilize it as much as possible, like this power here, because you really want as much Phantasma as possible. Even on the later brokers, you just really want to buy everything you possibly can. Let's do the other version. So yeah, even though you don't need it, it's just nice to have extra Phantasma. I know I'm pulling a big pack, but whatever. Soaking Strikes. So the duration of my Diamond Sword is now a minute, because we're building up the Soul Remnants, yeah. And we've got 2 stacks of this. They can go up to 3, you can't get any more. So it kind of sucks that certain powers can only stack up to a certain amount of times. Like this one can only stack up to 4 times, just to match the Recklessness cooldown. Right, so that's my last one. And, oh yeah, okay, fine. And you'll also want to take note of the floors, because I've done Torghast for quite a while, so I kind of memorized what the floors are by the first few rooms, or maybe the first room, so you kind of know what it's going to be. So it's got like the circular rooms, but you really want to be aware versions. Maybe we'll run it into it a little later on. If a room has one of those portals where it takes you to a normally unreachable part of the floor, where it just gives you more Phantasm powers. That's a really important upgrade that you do have if you're trying to go for this, is that you get the thing that allows you to use those portals. I'll show it to you if I see one, but yeah, you'll see what I mean. Obviously I'm not utilizing my Phantasma, but it's not the end of the world. So yeah, in terms of what floors you want to have, you kind of want, yeah, Fracture Chambers as I said, then Cold Art Interstitia, as Goldest Halls, then ideally maybe Mortugar is probably the third worst. No, Soul Forge is then Upper Reaches, because it's the cost of taking damage versus the physical damage done, which does affect pretty much anything, unless your boss is a caster. We're facing a boss. Oh, never mind. Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say my charge isn't up, but my Pro Creepers. So you can just see the damage. You can see the rage generation as well by having 4 of these things. Yeah, rage generation is by 100%. So this really helps. We haven't seen any shout powers at all yet, so that's a bit concerning. But it's not the end of the world. So yeah, see, my Diamond Sword is now on a minute duration exactly. So we've almost got it to permanent. We just need one more stack of that power, or just a couple more souls. Oh, this is pretty good. I'll do the sword, and yeah, make sure you're doing the quests, because quests is just a free power, and you can run into points like, oh, yeah, this actually helps a lot. Even though it does damage you each time you like execute something below 10% health, it is still worth it because it does work on bosses. You'll just have to do what you can to try and out heal it, unless you're a mage who has no healing whatsoever. And a rogue doesn't have that much healing either. So if we killed everything, yeah. That's when we can go to the next floor. Look at our Phantasma. We're at floor 9, so we are to break a floor. Okay, this is the guy I was talking about. I don't like this guy, the big ghoul guy. So yeah, 1500 Phantasma. We still have only got 2 stacks of the... where is it? This one here. So yeah, I think we can just buy everything now. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. We'll buy as much as we can, because I think this will be the last good broker. Hop, 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 hop. No, I'll go with someone else. I don't really care about the stun. Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, I'll choose it. Normally you want to be very careful when using this power. Can be a bit dangerous. Okay, this is the first. Yeah, I'm 100% getting that one. Enemies affected by any of your shouts take 30% increased damage. So this is where we want to put Piercing Hell and Challenging Shouts, because they counter shouts. Intimidating Shout counters as well, but you only really get 1 hit before the damage taken debuff fades away. And Rallying Cry and Battle Shout don't count, because they're personal buffs for you, and they're not debuffs for the mobs you're killing. So, okay, let's close that. What's that one? We'll go with this one. Yeah. That one. And yeah, that's about it. Let's move on. So what are we before 10? So we've hit the halfway point. We're over halfway into the run. Something? No. Okay. I was wondering if the sun was shining on my mic. Okay, yeah, this is the big floor. This is another thing as well. You kind of want to hope for big floors, because the more mobs you get, the more Phantasma, and then the more possible chance of a powers you'll get. So really good. Oh yeah, I forgot that. Jump. So yeah, this is a massive flaw for fracture chambers. So I'm actually really happy with that. But as you can see, the mobs are getting a little bit longer to kill. So one thing you can do as an arms warrior is, because you're constantly spamming condemn, if you're ever at a point where you run out of rage, well, you shouldn't really, but if you do, you can just why do not buy a thing? Okay, actually, yeah, I'll show you this. So if you get a Lost Dredger, you want a Ravenous Anima Cell for it. So you want to hit it until it drops its bag, or its anima power. Like that. And then when it runs, because it runs to the end of the floor, it starts a cast where it escapes, like a normal treasure goblin would in Diablo 3. And then as he's casting it, you want to throw a Ravenous Anima Cell at him, and that'll open up a portal to essentially just free anima powers and Phantasma. It's just a room full of phylacteries and powers. So I think you get 6 powers, which is actually really efficient. I don't know why I didn't buy this Ravenous Cell. Not even on that broker, but just earlier on. So that is really important. It does kind of suck to see if you see a dredger on floor 1 or 2 where you don't have a Ravenous Anima Cell. However, they can drop off some of the certain creatures in here. So the mobs that spawn out of powers, I can't remember the names, but I'll see if I can show you if there are any later on. But they're the ones where if you click on the power, then mobs will spawn. Those type of mobs, I have had a Ravenous Anima Cell drop from them when I looted them. So that was pretty cool. That was actually recent as well. It's maybe 2 weeks ago I got that. But I'm assuming it's pretty rare since... Oh, it's Soul Stalker. We'll use our shout. Make a die quicker. Let's see how quickly he's dying. Okay, now we have the shout power. Now we kind of want the one where Heroic Leap causes a piercing howl when you land. So their mobs will already be taking 30% increased damage when you're starting to fight them, which is really good. Okay, this is another really good power as well. So these little souls will spawn on the ground. They'll give you 25% damage increase, and they're really consistent as well. They're not... You can't get permanent uptime on it, but near permanent, which is really good. 100% you want to choose that power if you run into a Soul Stalker, like this one. Damn it. Go die by the sword. Condemn. Condemn is just ridiculous. I'm surprised that hasn't been nerfed. I don't think the damage has been nerfed, although they have nerfed some of the powers in here related to Condemn. It's pretty much 2-shot. That tells that one. But in my opinion, Oswald is just the easiest spec to do Twisting Corridors on. Much more than Fury. However, Fury can do more AoE damage since Blade Storm just absolutely wrecks everything. It's ridiculous. Let's go with this one. And hopefully next week, or if not then the week after, I will have Max Swap with Venari finally. I've had much neglection of them more, as some would say. But that allows me to buy the last Torghast upgrade, which allows me to always have an option of 2 powers whenever I get a power. So there'll be no more of those powers where it only gives you 1 choice. All these numbers on the screen. So yeah, this is what we're looking at with powers. So we haven't actually got that many epic powers. So we've got my legendary. We've got, yeah, Spotting Inertia, as I said before. We've got the level 50 talent here, and then the Disembowel Hook. Which is actually not bad. I mean, at least I have Spotting Inertia, and at least I have the Disembowel Hook. Because it's actually more useful than people think it is. Sorry about the Discord notifications. You can see up here. Just jump. We're almost back up to 1,000 Phantasma. Let's get the buff. Down over the bar, isn't it? Nice. Ah, I'm dying. No. Guess that's what I get when I for standing more bad. Yeah. Oh. Look at this. Dealing with a rare and a rift guy at the same time. This takes pure skills. That charge is gonna... Yeah, that charge is actually no joke, as some people say. We're doing a plate. Dead and dead. Oh, it's so good. Yeah, we'll take the health. We don't need a mount because we've got the jumpy jump. Alright, we are heading to floor 12 with this crap boss. I hate this boss. I'd say this is probably this is the worst boss, and I'll show you why. But let's go to the broker. So yeah, Casares the Fallen. Actually, before I go, let me just turn off Discord in this Discord. It's just spamming like crazy. Okay, there we go. Alright, Broker, what do you got for us? Oh, not bad. It's a not bad choice. I've got a bit of Phantasma to spend. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get death potions. Just because why not? Ooh, that's actually really lucky. Yeah, let's go with that one. Yeah, let's buy everything. So we can... Oh yeah, we'll just have enough. Alright, so this boss. So just like the Grand Automaton... Oh no, sorry, the Monstrous Guardian that does the Enrage when you move. He does that at the very beginning. And he also launches big shadowy orbs that are actually kind of hard to get out of because they're all grouped together. Which, yeah, obviously makes it really hard to get out of. So we're just going to try and kill this guy before he could do even one mechanic. Oh, he got the Enrage. Oh well. So that's the ability there, Collapse. That's when he summons the orbs. But yeah, he's just gonna die. Boom. Oh yeah, we're doing this quest as well. This is not really a good choice. This power here, for example, is probably the worst epic you could get. Because it only... Like, the damage taken increase isn't that big, and it only lasts the same as Intimidating Shout, where you only get one head off before it disappears. So that's kind of annoying. So we'll go with... we'll go with this one. Why not? Gibbering Skull isn't that big. Now, hopefully we'll get a good floor. This is the most important floor that you want to get, because this determines the run. Cold Heart, easy. We'll get this. But because we got Cold Heart twice now, the last boss is going to have a lot of health. So we've got 33% increased health on everything, so this kind of sucks. So we're just gonna have to grudge through all of this, because everything here will have a lot of health, and therefore will take longer to kill. So, hit those woods. Oh yeah, so we do have... Oh, shit. We do have permanent die by the sword, 3.4 minutes. So that's good. At least we got that done. Yeah, I hate these javelins. For some reason, ranged attacks, like ranged attacks from hunters, ignore my die by the sword. So we kind of actually want to deal with these guys first, over the agents, maybe. So I'm actually going to concentrate here a little bit. This is going to be a bit harder than I thought. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to completely demolish a pack. So we have double sword, so we would pop that already. We're going to pre-drop Ravager, charge, Warbreaker, Avatar, Sweeping Strikes, and then just come down. Yeah, so this is going to... We'll do one heroic leap to get the damage buff. Ah, of course I had to do a piercing hull on there, which I forgot. But I did that exact rotation, except I did when there were two, do a piercing howl. And the Monstrous Guardian just got annihilated. Literally. It was just 3 hits. And mind you, these guys are have a lot of health now. We're at floor 14. Oh, hey, so we're not fast at the Rift Guardian. At first wondering why I call it Rift Guardian. I played Diablo 3 quite a bit, so I'm used to these calling these guys Rift Guardians. No particular reason. So because these guys are going to be scaling up, that means these Javelineers and also the Scouts, the ones that are throwing the spears, are going to be way more deadlier. So we're going to want to be careful with our pulls now. So yeah, the Scout, even though it's not called a Javelineer, obviously, you can still throw spears. Watch that. Okay, solve this chest real quick. Oh, wait, what was that? Hold on. Ah, got it. I thought I saw something. We'll come back to that. We'll go with this one. It just alleviates a bit of the damage you're going to be taking. One thing I actually didn't recognize is that if you stack... where is it? So how it increases duration of Berserker Rage. And it increases the duration of Berserker Rage by 300%, but then if you have a couple of those, it also pairs up with this power here. Stores 5% health every 3 seconds while Berserker Rage is up, which can help you with a bit of your healing, just passively. So right now my Berserker Rage is at 42-second duration with a minute cooldown. So if we had one more of those, then we'd have a permanent Berserker Rage, which is very important with this floor as well, because it's got the agents that big, like this guy. Alright, rare. 1.7 million health for a rare. That's actually not too bad for this floor. I'll do that. Damn. It's still getting deleted. 300k condemns. This is just nuts. Granted, I do have rep up. Memory serves, this one doesn't have, yeah, not very good powers to choose from. Oh, that is good. So we've got 3 of those now. I got one while you weren't recording, so I got one when I wasn't recording, obviously. I'm not going to show you guys the full recording, because most of the time it'll me just be sitting there in silence, which is going to be very boring for this type of video. So I'm just gonna cut to the good bits, important bits, and so on. But if I don't need to show something, then I won't do it. Or if I don't need to say something. If I don't need to show you something where I'm saying something important, then I don't need to show it. Yeah. Give it some. So yeah. My time's duration is 3.9 minutes with a 1.5 minute cooldown. Pretty long time. I'll say, spotting rusher up. And just delete. So we're coming out to floor 15, so this will be a second to last broker before we get to the boss. I'm going to take this one. Another tip I can probably give is try not to pick the powers that, like, say, give you a bubble, or just reduce the cooldown rate of one of your abilities by to 1 second. Like, I know Demon Hunters can get a power that reduces their cooldown of Foul Rush or Infernal Strike to 1 second for 1.5 minutes. In my opinion, that's not worth it because it's not a permanent power. You definitely want powers that last forever. I used to do that sometimes, but I don't do it anymore just because of that reason. So is that Dark Center the chorus again? Okay, I'm not complaining. Yeah, so as you can see, this broker has like nothing on it. I think it's because we've got all the powers. Like, there'd usually be powers here, like most of the uncommon and rare powers, but we've got them already. So that's why the brokers don't have much. But they'll still have the inner powers, so it's not worth just completely skipping them, of course. Let's go with that one. Yeah, why not? So I think now we're at the point where we can just not worry about mobs and just go straight to the Rift Guardians and then the boss. Oh, sorry, I'm so tired. It's been a busy week at work. So yeah, we're just gonna blitz through this and see what happens. Okay, we are on floor 17. We just did floor 16. We did die twice while I wasn't recording. This is actually a pretty long one. So mobs are getting almost one-shot in territory. So this is why we want permanent die by the sword. And at this point, it's actually not a bad idea to think about using spell reflect, because a lot of the stuff is shadow damage. Oh dear, no. And it can be reflected back for extra damage, and just damage you will not take. So it is really important to think about stuff, otherwise your run will fall apart right here, right now. It's crazy how many times I've lost a run because I wasn't taking precautions. Let's do that. Delete this Automaton. I don't know how you say this. Automaton. Automaton. I don't even know what that means. I guess it's just like a robot. Alright, so yeah, we're literally just hopping through, skipping everything. This is actually pretty risky for different reasons. One is because you're skipping all of the mobs, which means you're... what is that? It's because you're skipping all of the mobs for their powers, but at the same time it's saving you the risk from dying for those mobs. Oh, actually this is not good, not good, not good. Cannot deal with 2 Javelineers. But yeah, at the same time you're saving yourself the risk by not dying to these mobs because you're not fighting them. So whether or not that's good or bad is just for you to decide. It's just a personal decision to make. Because I pretty much got everything I want to kill the boss. I just need to be aware of the abilities that are going on. Hopefully it does not pull those monsters here. So what are we thinking? Let's go charge, pressing hold, avatar can down. Unfortunately, we can only do piercing howl so many times. But that's okay. Just cool. No. What was that? I have no idea what that was, but we'll just pretend it didn't happen. That was stun. Oh, we can shout again. Go. Yes. Dead. Last power. Oh, it won't be last power. Actually, that's actually pretty good that popped up. Because now we've got an extra 4-second stun we can use. And a good thing to note here is that the while you're knocking down your mob, like the knockdown doesn't count towards your chain stun CC shenanigan, whatever you want to call it. Basically, if you CC a mob too many times, it becomes immune. It just becomes CC immune. But knocking down the target does not count towards that. It doesn't make the mob CC immune anytime. Oh, that was a mistake. Yeah. Okay, Dark Ascended Chorus, 10.03 million health. Oh, why not? No, whatever. Let's just kill it. So yeah. So we'll just keep spamming condemn. I think we'll do Proclaim and Challenging Shouts. So yeah, this is what I mean. You could just stun lock everything. I use Shadow Ball just to get back a little bit more rage and to get off a Ravager. Oh, okay. Shadow, that's not good. We can do another war. I'll be so embarrassed if I die now. I probably will, to be honest. Oh, let's just hope. Oh yeah, I've got Pummel as well, so that's another 4-second stun. Shout in 5 seconds. Oh no. Ah, I died. What did I die to? Shadow Rip. Okay. Oh, well, we got 6 tries to complete it, so it should be alright. Oh, okay. We did it. Oh, that was actually pretty nerve-wracking. So yeah, that is where you would normally get the achievement. That is the last boss on floor 18. Hopefully this helped. I'm going to try and do it on all the DPS specs possible. I'm not going to do it on tank or healers, because why would you do this as a tank or healer? But yeah, anyway, that's it for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.